Are you Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Filipino? Actually, I'm none of those that you just listed. I'm Hmong, Hmong. And Hmong means free people. A little background about the Hmong people. They originated thousands of years ago from China. After the war broke out with the Chinese emperor, they migrated to Southeast Asia, settling in the mountains and highlands of Thailand and Laos. The Hmong population is very small, so they like to marry within their own culture. Marriages can be very difficult and very good, depending on the way the initiation of the marriage started. Today, I will talk to you about 3 different ways Hmong marriages can be initiated: through volunteering, through negotiating, or through forced marriage. Let's first start off with how Hmong marriages can be volunteer. The volunteer method is when the guy will bring the girl a gift. It can be any gift as long as it proves his love to her. If she accepts, that's her form of saying yes to the proposal. The guy will then take her home that night, or they will plan for a future date for her to elope. Now, the elope process isn't similar to the American eloping at all. The eloping process in the Hmong culture is actually the girl sneaking out, or you can say she ran away from her parents' house in the middle of the night to the groom. The groom will then send out 2 of his elders to the bride's house, and it can be as early as 2 or 3 in the morning. It does not matter. They have to get over there as soon as possible and let the bride's family know that she's ran away to get married and that they need to start negotiating to come to a settlement for the wedding. Usually, there is never a disapproval of this step, and the wedding will proceed. The wedding will proceed with a dowry day and a celebration day. Now that we know how the bride can volunteer herself to get married, let's look at how the negotiation method happens. The negotiation method is when the bride and the groom's family both know of the marriage. The method can be good and it can be bad. The good part about this method is that the groom's family will negotiate the wedding and pay respect to the bride's family through gifts and a high dowry amount for the bride. And usually the bride's parents will approve of this negotiation and settlement. The bad thing about this is if the bride's family disapproves, the relationship is over. The bride and the groom will have to come to a mutual breakup, or they will end up dealing with suicide. Now, suicide isn't common anymore, but it is still used widely today. So that's something that they always try not to aim for. However, if the guy does not listen to either side of the family and continues to see the girl's family will put a curse on him and his family. And that's something that you don't want to involve your family in at all. Getting a disapproval for a marriage is always heartbreaking, but what's even worse is being forced to marry someone who you don't love or don't even know. In the forced method, the guy will bride nap. Yes, bride nap the girl without having her knowledge or consent. The girl's parent will have to accept that, no matter the situation, as it is a disgrace to the family's name for her sleeping over or staying the night at a guy's house. The groom's family will go over to the bride's family and start the negotiation process. This method usually happens with families who are related, as long as their last names are different, and it has to be that way because if the last names are the same, it will be a taboo to the culture and the family. Once the negotiations have completed, the wedding date will be set, and they will be also able to include a day for the dowry as well. As we have talked about today, Hmong marriages can happen in a few different ways: through volunteer, through negotiations, and through forced marriage. Even though these ways can be very strange to people outside of the culture and to people inside the culture as well too. The brides will still accept it as a norm because it is a part of their culture and it's something that they can't get rid of. If they do, they're going to have to marry outside of the culture and completely change who they are. But that's just part of their roots and that's where they came from, and if they don't follow it, then they choose not to. That's up to them. However, brides usually and always do accept it. Now, what do you guys think about the traditional Hmong marriages? Do you think it's crazy, strange, normal? I can't wait to hear your answers and comments.